Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about the fact that I'm getting HYSTO in the middle of COVID. Yeah, it's intense. So the hospitals around here are going back to doing the kind of non-emergent surgeries. So I figure now is a pretty good time to get this done. I have a bunch of time off saved up at work, and it just kind of falls into good timing for me personally. And I'm not super concerned about the COVID risk, just because I've been working through this whole thing in contact with a lot of the public and things of that nature the whole time, and I haven't gotten any symptoms or any concerns with that. So this is going to be kind of detailed about what I'm going through now, and I will make an update video after I actually get the surgery to see kind of how it all went and what the process was. So what I am getting is I am getting a hysterectomy without an oophorectomy or vaginectomy, which means that I am leaving my ovaries in there, and the vaginal canal is staying as well. Unfortunately, that is not an option to be removed for me at this time. I'd like to at some point, but not an option right now. As far as the eggs, I will get to that, the ovaries and the eggs at a later point in this video. So I am going through the surgeon that my PCP recommended to me. Her name is Beth Cronin. She works through the Providence Health Centers in Rhode Island. The surgery itself is going to be at Women and Infants Hospital, which is kind of like a obnoxious name, but whatever. They're really good at what they do, so I'm cool with that. Prerequisites for this are obviously the referral from my PCP. I need 2 letters of support, one from a physician and one from a mental health professional. So I got mine from my psychiatrist and my therapist. That was pretty easy for me to get since I was in therapy to begin with, and it was my PCP that did the referral in the first place, so my psychiatrist was very much on board. They basically just have to say that, yes, I am in fact trans, yes, this will in fact help me a lot in my transition and with my mental health and all of those things, and that this is medically necessary. I will post a little more details about those in the actual description of the video down below. So the first thing after I got a call back from the surgeon was to schedule a consult. My consult, because it was in the middle of COVID, was over the phone, which isn't really a problem for me. I made sure to ask a lot of questions. How does this go? What's the recovery time? What meds am I going to be on? All of those types of things that are just kind of basic questions. She described how the surgery goes. She said it takes about 2-ish hours, that the recovery time is up to 6 weeks, and that they weren't exactly sure when that they would be booking and how COVID would change it at the time, because my consult was back in like the spring. So once I finally completed the consult, agreed that this is something that I definitely want to do, they would have their like scheduling person call me. I got a call. They said that they had a surgery date available for October 15th, and then they had me schedule the surgery date, the date for the pre-op appointment, and at that point it's kind of a waiting game to make sure that the insurance approves it. My pre-op appointment was just over a week and a half ago now, and the biggest thing about the pre-op appointment is just to make sure that all of your questions are answered. So at that point, I actually got input on some of my questions from one of my friends who's a nurse, which helped me tremendously. It was fantastic to have her input on that. So I'm just going to read you guys my list of questions and kind of go over why I asked those. So my first question was, is my insurance 100% definitely going to cover this? I had problems with communication. They hadn't told me for probably 2 weeks at that point, whether or not they'd even gotten all the documents they needed from my PCP. So that was my first question: has this been approved yet? As of now, it has not. Today is the 5th, so that is stressing me out. What am I going to pay for the surgery? And the answer to that was it depends on my deductible. So with my insurance, I have Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island, so they usually cover everything except the deductible. Me personally, I have a deductible of $500, so it's likely that that's what I'm going to be required to pay for this out of pocket. Then, do I need a COVID test? Yes. Yes, I do have to get a COVID test. They do not do rapid testing day of at the hospital that I'm going to, so they go through this specific drive-through COVID site that I have to get that swab done 4 days before the surgery. So for me personally, they said that they were going to call me probably the Thursday of the week before and have me do the drive-through either Sunday or Monday of the week of, because my surgery's on Thursday. It's this one specific place that they do it through because they've had really good results with them. It's close and it's a drive-through, which is cool. Then I asked whether my fiance can come into the hospital to wait with me before the surgery, and unfortunately the answer to that is no. She's going to have to drop me off in the morning at the door. The surgeon will call her when I get out of surgery and put me into the post-op room, but unfortunately she cannot come in until after I'm out of the post-op waiting section and into the recovery room at a different floor in the hospital. I'm not exactly sure why they're allowing people into that visiting section upstairs, but not to wait before the surgery. But that, unfortunately, those are the rules for the hospital that I am going to. They said that they would allow me to have my phone. They'd lock it up while I'm in surgery. So once I get into that post-op room, I can have my phone to be in contact with her. Then I asked whether I need to pick up my pain meds before or after the surgery, and do I have to take any other meds the day of or the day after. She said that they're going to be prescribing me Percocet for the pain. They'll also, I'm already personally on gabapentin, but they usually give a couple doses of gabapentin as well to prevent some of the surgical pain. And have me take, they have most people take Tylenol and Motrin, kind of flip-flop them to prevent pain and any inflammation and things like that. So I will actually pick those up afterwards. After the surgery, I'll pick up the meds on my way home. Do I have to stop my testosterone? Because I did have to stop my testosterone for top surgery, so I was a little concerned about that because when I went for top surgery, I had some more breakthrough bleeding. Obviously, I'm not going to get that because I'm having my uterus taken out, but I hate having to stop my T anyway, so that was a question, and no, I do not have to stop it for the HYSTO, which is great. The pre-surgical fast, so I have to have no solid foods for 6 hours before surgery and no liquids for 2 hours before. She did suggest that I get a large bottle of Gatorade and have that be my last drink before surgery because there's some evidence that it might help the healing and help you use the bathroom faster after surgery. I personally have to arrive at 7 a.m., so that's going to be fun. Asked about return to work. She said that I can request all the documents from my HR department and that I would be TDI, temporary disability insurance, eligible for 6 weeks. So when I go back to work, she'll have to fill out paperwork and those sorts of things as well. Who do I call if there are issues when I get home? So I asked about a specific nurse line, if there were going to be any nurses on call to answer questions, if I had excessive bleeding or cramping or anything like that. And this is actually one of the issues that I've had with this place thus far, is that their communication is kind of terrible. She told me to call the main number for the health center, and that if it was after hours, the phone would send me to the triage line, which would have me talk to a nurse. This unfortunately isn't correct. I tried to call them just to get more details about whether or not this had been approved by my insurance after hours one day, and instead of sending me to a triage line, it asked me whether I wanted to be seen at the urgent care, and if I did not press 0 to be seen at the urgent care, it just disconnected. So I did actually get a call back from the nurse after that day, once I finally got in contact with somebody, and kind of let them know that, hey, this is not actually what it does, it disconnects you. They're looking into that, which is good, but they have yet to give me a post-op nurse line, so I'm not sure what's going to be the deal with that. They also said that there would be an on-call doctor if the nurse can't answer the question. It may not be my surgeon, but anybody who's on can answer most questions, and if they don't feel like they can answer the question appropriately, they will contact my doctor. Will I stay overnight? No, it is not likely that I will stay overnight, especially because my surgery is so early in the morning. It's a possibility that I would have to stay overnight if, for some reason, they have to go and do an abdominal hysterectomy instead of the laparoscopic one. So I'm having the little robot surgery where they poke holes in your abdomen and pull everything out through the bottom. If for some reason something goes wrong and they have to actually slice across my abdomen, then it's likely that I'll have to stay overnight. That's not very common, and the only reason if the laparoscopic one goes well that I would have to spend the night is that if I can't urinate after surgery. So there's that. Yes, there's a void test. I have to be able to urinate before I go home. Am I going to need a letter of medical clearance from my PCP or any other doctors? Me personally, I do not, because I don't have any major medical issues that would have her concerned for this surgery. And then my last question was, when can I shower and when can I submerge? So she said I can shower the next day, but leave the stair strips on the incisions for 3 days, and then I can submerge after about 2 weeks. So that answered all my questions, which was awesome. She gave me some very detailed information about how it goes, what I need to do to prepare and aftercare, all that kind of stuff. She told me I'm going to have to shave my tummy because they use a very specific soap in the OR that's actually flammable, which I thought was really weird, but good to know, and I will definitely make sure that that gets done because I do not want my tummy on fire. And yeah, that was about it for the pre-op. So I also had to get labs done. They need to know what my blood type is just in case something goes wrong and they need to give me a transfusion. They check basic labs. So where I'm at right now is I'm just waiting for a call back whether my insurance has officially approved everything and how much I'm going to have to pay out of pocket. They said that they usually don't have issues with Blue Cross, so at this point it's just a waiting game. And I'm expecting to have to pay that $500 deductible, but I'm hoping that it's somehow less. So what I wish was different thus far is I hate how terrible the communication is with this particular place. I have to call several times to get a call back. They have a new phone system which is lousy, and it's very difficult to get things answered, which is unfortunate, but kind of how it is with most doctors at this point during COVID. It's poorer communication than I had for top surgery, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it other than keep bringing up the fact that this is pretty poor service. Everything else has gone amazing. My surgeon is very nice. She's very trans-friendly. She brought in a medical student to sit into my pre-op appointment, and she was also very kind. The whole thing has been very trans-friendly and easy in that regard. It's just the communication through the telephones that suck. The last thing I wanted to go over is paperwork for work. So the first thing I did for taking this time off was just to let my direct supervisor know, well in advance. As soon as I even got my consult scheduled, I let her know, hey, this is what I'm looking at. I'm not quite sure how long I'm going to be out, but just so you know, I want you to be expecting this so that you can get coverage and all that sort of thing. After my pre-op appointment, I requested FMLA, Family Medical Leave, through my human resources department. So they take all of your saved up vacation time, sick time, personal time, and all of that before they go on to regular FMLA time. So me personally, I have like 3 weeks of vacation time saved up, so that's going to go before my FMLA. They're having me complete paperwork for human resources through this third-party website. So all my contacts go through there, and it's a little more secure, I guess. I'm not sure if that's just how they do it at my company. My doctor has to fill out some forms for that, and then I can request temporary disability insurance the morning of the surgery. So I'm currently in Rhode Island, which is one of, I think, like 5 states that has TDI available for this type of thing. So the morning of the surgery, I can go online to Rhode Island, I think it's the DHS website, and request temporary disability insurance. So that can pay, I want to say, up to 60% of your normal salary for up to 6 weeks for this type of surgery. You can get TDI for different amounts of time for different types of medical things, but I fill out my paperwork the morning of, then the doctor fills hers out, and that can take a little while to process, but it at least helps to provide a little bit of extra income while I'm not working. So I can be out anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks depending on my healing and what myself and the doctor agree on would be a good time to go back to work. My work is aware of this, they know everything, they've got coverage and all that, so it is working out really well when it comes to my company. My direct supervisor knows what I'm going out for. A lot of my coworkers know, and there haven't been any issues as far as like super probing questions or anything inappropriate as far as, oh, you're a guy, why are you getting a hysterectomy, blah, blah. I mean, I'm out to most of my company, so almost everybody knows that I'm trans, but it's not 100%, but nobody's been rude, nobody's given me any issues about taking time off or anything like that. So thus far, everything other than the communication over the phone with the surgeon has gone amazingly. Comment or email me any questions you have, and I will post another video after my HYSTO and update you guys with how the surgery itself went, how my recovery went, and all that. And I cannot wait to hear from you guys. Have a fantastic day.